You are going to find it so hard to beat that last dish, Johnny. That was amazing.
Well, you know, it's that time of the year, isn't it, where the recipes change a little because it's getting a little colder.
Yeah.
And so, you know, food plays a very important part. You know, you don't want to eat summery food when it's below 2 degrees outside.
No, there's nothing like a winter warmer, is there?
That's it. And food, to me, being a music person, basically, is like music, you know, because everybody can relate to it. On Young Talent Time, we used to have people from all over the world. We had Italians, Greeks, Dutch, you know, whatever. And some of them, or a lot of them, couldn't understand the language. But they could always relate to music.
Yeah.
And you don't really need to understand the language too well to understand and appreciate food. That's my philosophy anyway.
I think you're right.
This is a Rookworst with sauerkraut.
Right.
And it's very simple, really, because we're going to mash the potatoes.
All right.
Yeah, would you do that for me?
Yeah, I'll take care of that. That's
mashed
easy.
it. Oh, you got the machine.
I'm going to pop it straight. I'll blitz it in this.
This is a modern program.
You're going to put some butter in with that as well?
Yeah, a little bit of butter, please.
Okay. Enough?
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
I would mash them first and then add this.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the mix of those in the bowl. We'll pop this in here.
Yep.
And we will let the Thermomix do its thing.
This is so clever.
Let's have a look and see how we're going. Oh,
how's that look?
Beautiful.
You're going to add the sauerkraut by hand. Is that the idea?
That is the idea.
Beautiful.
Okay, so we've got enough of a nice
And it
mash.
looks very simple, doesn't it? You know, the sauerkraut, but look
I
at
used to
that.
have a
creamy.
saying when there was too much cabbage around that you really needed to worry about the wind from the south, and it's because of all the fibre, right?
That's very funny. Okay, so now I'm going to add the sauerkraut to it.
Okay.
And if you wouldn't mind just stirring that up a little bit. In European language, it's stomp pot, which basically means stamping pot. You know, you got to, like what you're doing, stomp pot. Rookworst is particularly Dutch, and a lot of people get it confused with knackwurst, which is a German meat.
Yeah.
And it's totally different, and it doesn't make the dish that we're making. It's totally different taste, believe it or not. Just going to put it on top of that.
Shall I pop this into...
Pop that in there.
Okay. Okay, so a little bit of onion over the top.
A little bit of onion over the top. It's looking good, but it doesn't look all that interesting yet. But I'm going to put that on the top and a little bit of dill.
Okay.
Sprinkled all over the place like that. And that's all it is.
In the oven?
You go. In the oven, please. 20 to 25 minutes.
Preheated 180 degrees.
Exactly.
It's on its way. This is something that brings some fond memories for you.
Oh, it does. I was a lucky kid. I had a mother who sang, who loved music, and I had a dad who taught me about work. A job worth doing is worth doing well. And he passed that on to me. You know, I left school when I was 14 and formed my first band.
Yeah.
And I had a vocational guidance test, you'll love this, and they recommended that I should be a hairdresser. So, and the people in Perth will remember Sam Rafisi's hairdressing salon. It was the biggest hairdressing salon. And I became an apprentice hairdresser under Sam Rafisi in Hay Street.
Really?
But then Johnny O'Keefe came to town, one of the big rock and roll stars, and invited me with my band to go on a tour. So, you know, I had to take some time off. Then we got a gig on a Friday night at the Fremantle Police Boys Club playing rock and roll Chuck Berry stuff. And I had to work on Saturday morning, as you do if you're an apprentice hairdresser. So Sam Rafisi sat me down and said, look, you've got to make a decision between one and the other.
And it wasn't too hard?
It wasn't too hard to make, but I love anything creative, really. You know, I worked in radio and other, you know, all sorts of stuff. The only thing I can't do is tap dance. Because every time I tap dance, I fall in the sink. It's just...
Smell that sauerkraut in amongst the potato.
I can smell it.
This is beautiful.
Let's hope it's cooked through. Look at that mashed potato.
John, this looks absolutely superb. So, hang on, we've got that.
It is such a simple dish.
And like all these dishes, make sure you get a bit of both.
And see, it didn't fry it. That's why the meat is still looking nice, but have a taste.
Yum.
Isn't that nice?
That is so good.
Oh. Thank you, Mum.
Thank you, Mrs. Young.
And imagine that on a hot night.
Even like on a cold Saturday for lunch, maybe just before the footy came on. How good's that?